Aaron, when did you get back from Paris?
Shit.
What up?
Yesterday night.
Yesterday?
He was over there styling over there in Paris, man.
Got to. Hey, I'm in the bag right now. I'm in the bag. I'm
Yo,
in the bag.
At first, when I first seen the Eiffel Tower, I was like, "You in Vegas?" And I said, "Oh no, he in Paris, Paris." I was like, "Hold
Paris,
on, he in
Paris.
Paris, Paris."
and I gotta ask you, bro, some of your outfits, man. I'm, what we got going on here? You gotta explain this to the people.
Bro, it's
Like
it, it,
we can't pull normal people can't pull this off.
but here's the thing. A lot of people can pull it off, but it's just the confidence of pulling it off.
That's a fact.
Even before, like I said, this bodybuilding shit, like I used to wear pink and purple, and people used to be like, "Oh, and at the end of the day, it's like it wasn't none of that. It was just more of I wanted to see where I can take my fashion and how if I can pull certain colors off, if I can pull certain things off. Um, I was real skeptical when the skinny jeans dropped. I didn't know if I was gonna pull the skinny jeans off, but when that era was it again I the confidence of wearing it and kind of arose a beast, and being around certain people like I've talked about before with EJ King and being around him. That my dog EJ, he can pull anything off, like literally anything from tights to you name it. It's just how you feel deep within yourself, man. And this is one thing I get to do is express myself through fashion, and to see it in Paris. And bro, I was in Paris on vacation, but I'm looking at swag. I'm looking at styles that I can implement into my own fashion game myself. So um
Even my dad, bro, he commented on this. His outfit is
I know
fun.
your dad was like your
Oh my
dad
God.
was like, yeah, he crazy on that one. But
But
it's
this is,
just
you know what's funny, bro? Right now, you're posting a lot of content that's literally nothing to do with bodybuilding. Like it doesn't even feel
absolutely
like
nothing.
you're a bodybuilder.
Nothing. But
So
that's the thing. It's like we say, it's a balance. And I never wanted to be just called considered a fucking bodybuilder. And I never
I
that's
can't
not
hear
my
you guys.
that wasn't my plan. So
Let's see
There it
here.
goes.
I
Let
mean
me grab
there's a
my
little
water.
little spritz in there,
Let me grab my
like
water right
it
quick.
goes to pieces, but that's never the idea of just to be known as a bodybuilder.
yeah. And
So
I don't know, man. I think a lot of people look at you sometimes, they're like, oh, he's not taking it serious. He's just, you know, he uses bodybuilding because he's a genetic freak. But then I don't know. I think there's like some solace in it that I think sometimes people get too consumed in the day to day of what
and that's
bodybuilding.
the thing, bro. And I hate that people say like, "Oh, he's not focused or he's not serious enough." Oh, I'm fucking serious. Trust me, I'm serious about everything that I do. I put 110% in everything that I do.
Yeah.
When it comes to bodybuilding, I'm locked in. I'm locked in all the time. I'm still locked in. Just because I went on vacation don't mean I still went in the gym and I still went trying to get my steps in as we're walking throughout Paris. Like, no, I'm dead ass serious, bro. So there's no lost focus there. It's just it's called again a balance of living life to the fullest. And you can't live life to the fullest, just focus on one thing when there's the bigger picture is the world is bigger than you think. And
Yeah.
bodybuilding is very minute to the world.
Hey, Aaron, on the contrary, all those people saying that we don't take it serious enough and we need to be more like you and we need to fuck off so we could be Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
Ryan,
That
Ryan,
that's the crazy part.
Ryan, let me ask you this. Do you feel like bodybuilding, there's seasons to it where you need to be all in on bodybuilding, mentally, physically, every little emotion, putting other things on the back burner?
Absolutely. I'm in that season right now. Um, a lot of guys don't understand that, in my opinion, a lot of guys don't understand, and you'll miss your window of opportunity because you didn't take notice of when you kind of caught fire. You get guys come out and we'll see guys and we'll be like, man, this guy looks great and he's doing well. But then he lets other people get inside his head and say, hey, nah, man, you need to go sit down for a year. What?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're it right now. Why not? You know what I'm saying?
So
And
I'm I'm curious though, because bro, you do a lot of outside of bodybuilding too. You know what I mean? Like
I
this.
do, I
Yeah,
do,
let's
but
not get it mistaken. Ryan be on his fashion shit too.
I was gonna
Let's
say,
not get it mistaken.
bro.
I see Ryan too. I see you. Trust me,
I,
I see you.
I do, but what a lot of people don't know is that I left pilot school for the past 3 months because I was trying to get ready for the Olympia, and I had a goal of making sure that I was bringing the best physique. So mentally, even though throughout the year, am I juggling both? Yes, but it was me saying, okay, I have to sit this other thing down that I love just for a little bit, because if I really want to try to move up with bodybuilding, I'm going to have to make some sacrifice. And that was my sacrifice. My sacrifice was putting every single thing into it because I don't want to miss my window of opportunity. You know what I mean? And a lot
So
of people don't see what goes on behind the scenes for a lot of guys. We just make it look easy online, you know?
so does that window carry into the all? Like what I mean when you look at it is say a season like bodybuilding, right? Um, now that you've qualified, right? Like, is there now time for you to take a step back to recenter, and focus on your significant other, travel outside of bodybuilding goals, or is it like, hey, no, like right now, my season is year span
Yeah.
of my prime.
Yeah, right now everything is just bodybuilding. Because I'm not saying that you can't bodybuilding is bodybuilding 24/7, but when you are able to create a layer of still personal life, being able to create even just a smidge of work-life balance, my personal life is never going to be not centered
Yeah.
because I don't allow bodybuilding to completely mess up everything that I have going on. You know, I understand how to be able to be a competitor without making it for where it becomes my complete identity.
That's and yeah,
I'm still Ryan Clark at the end of the day, who does a multitude of things outside of bodybuilding. That's honestly a lot of those things are not bodybuilding's business.
yeah.
That's why I keep my page pretty on spec with bodybuilding, fitness, everything. And there are some layers of my life that I will start to put on my bodybuilding page, just for engagement purposes and everything like that. But uh, for example, and just to kind of use Aaron for example, when he first came and he was on that tangent and that run, and he's just killing, 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 killing. You didn't necessarily outside of family, you didn't necessarily see a lot of content that wasn't really bodybuilding.
Right.
And even though he might have had, and even though he still had a personal life, you could tell that bodybuilding was just it was you could
It
tell he
was
was
everything.
locked in. He
Yeah.
was locked in. And then once he solidified that and he got to doing other things, that's when you had the trolls and shit come in, because then you're thinking that he's not taking bodybuilding serious. No, it's just that I've gotten to a point for where I say, okay, let me show you a different layer of who I am.
I
It
love it.
doesn't mean that I'm not taking it serious. So
That
then you
part.
get all kind of like the BS, critics and all that type of stuff. Oh, he thinking that he's that. No, I'm still taking bodybuilding serious. It's just that these are the things that I've always been doing. This
Yeah.
isn't new. I've always been
Yeah.
doing these things. You're just now seeing it. That's the
Seeing
thing
it,
about it.
that part.
Yeah.
I'm
That
now
is
presenting it to the
perfect.
world,
Yeah.
So, and it's just like the whole cowboy thing. I've gotten so much like weird shit about that. Like, bro, like I grew up riding horses since I was 10 years old, but now that everybody's like, oh, he's trying to be that. No, I'm not trying to be shit. I am that.
But here's the thing, Aaron. Even if you didn't do that, why does it matter?
That
Even if
part.
you didn't
I
grow up
really
riding
don't.
horses, why does it matter? If you like cowboy hats, fuck it. If I want to wear a cowboy hat, what are people going to say? Oh, you didn't ride horses, so you can't?
Well, I mean, that's
That's
the
a
world
bit,
we
I
live
mean,
in. That's the world we
yeah,
live in now. So you just
exactly.
it just people, man, and I've learned. I mean, all y'all can learn from the shit that I've done on Instagram or even social media, from the politics to the joy swirls to the fans. It's just people are going to jump on opportunities just for the hell of it, and people are going to try to attack you, your character, in every different in angles. So it all comes down to that mental capacity of you just stand in your lane, man.
That's the thing, man.
Yeah.
I,
So
I think this is important.
basically just going off of that. Sorry to cut you off, Alex, but going off of that, I mean, we're talking about what we do in our personal life. This is why Men's Physique Radio is such a good concept for us, because not only do we cover shows, and I just had this conversation with Alex before getting on here, not only do we cover shows, but we actually get guests on to talk about themselves, what led them to the level that they're at. I mean, I wasn't a top level guy out the gate. Aaron, I mean, he's one of the very few that is, if you know, if any, you know, Ryan, same thing as me. You know, it took him years and years and years to grind where he's at. Same thing with you, Alex. I mean, I've been doing this for 9 years and I'm finally getting my stride the past 2 years. So it doesn't mean that those first 7 years didn't matter. Just people didn't know, you know, of me. But you know, we have our guest on today. You know, I want to do a formal introduction. We have Rhyan Clark. We have two-time Olympian now, which, you know, it always sounds better than being an Olympian. It's plural. So just won the Hawaii Pro this past weekend. So I saw it come up, man. It's like I get chills for you because this resonates a little bit deeper with me, because I saw you, like, you went pro the weekend before you did your pro debut. I think you did it within the same week. Like,
we did New York Pro.
Yeah, we did New York Pro together, and I'm sitting there backstage, and you could tell, like, he's new to this. He's like, hey, so how's this work? Like, how's this? And I'm like, wait, you just turned pro? I just saw you online. You just won what national show was it?
During USA's overall.
Yeah, it was the weekend before, and he hopped right in the New York Pro, and I'm like, damn, bro. So we went on stage. I mean, he was right next to me in the call out. I mean, I'm like, he looked good. He impressed me right away, and we got to talking, and he was always humble from the start. That's why seeing these guys that started, they weren't handed a first call out. They didn't just jump in the mix. Like, he's a guy that, you know, and I was a pro for 2 years then, and he's right next to me. He jumped up the ranks quick, but he wasn't a top front runner right away. So my point is, like, kind of seeing him rise from the top, or rise from where he was to make it to the top level, being an Olympian, from years and years and years of people counting him out and people doubting him. That's why I wanted to get him on here, because I wanted him to kind of go into detail about, you know, what it was like, you know, being doubted. You know, there's other live Instagram feeds that always want to talk about, oh, he's not going to be in the mix. He's not going to win this show. He's not going to be here. He's not going to be there. He won't beat so-and-so. And what was it like being constantly doubted from the beginning?
For me, not to say that I never take it personal, because I mean, we're all human. It would be a lie to say you can sit there and listen to people tell you what you aren't going to be, and you're just like, oh, it doesn't matter to me. I've always found it interesting, you know, that the people who privately say, hey man, you're this or you're that, and then, you know, they'll get online, and when they're doing predictions, all of a sudden, oh yeah, man, he's not going to beat so-and-so, or he's not going to beat this person. One thing about it is that I'm a student of the sport, and I've paid attention, and some of the people who say they will beat me, if they beat me before, I know why they beat me. And then sometimes people honestly just don't do their homework, because at a lot of times, people who, when they say, oh, this person, he's not going to beat this person, I've actually, if you go to go look and do research, some of these people I've beat before I ever even was even remotely close to what I am. But honestly, there's going to be criticism, and I can't ever be upset at people with their opinion. You can only go off what you know. If somebody else might have a little bit more body of work to be able to go off of with success, naturally you're going to say, okay, well, you know, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like, for instance, when you just had the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson situation, even though Mike Tyson was 60, but because he had such a track record of being that guy, people still was willing to give this big shot for him to beat somebody who's younger, faster, more rejuvenated, all these things though, right? You know, the slap, oh yeah, he's going to go in there, he's going to demolish him, he's going to kill him, right?
Yeah.
Because of his track record. So is it that you get mad at somebody because they're going off of what they know? You can only go off what you know. You know, so sometimes that's how I feel. They're going off people who might have a track record of being this or that, but also it kind of lights a fire in me, for real, to be completely honest, because I'm going to come prove you wrong. I've always been the shorter competitor. I'm not saying that I look small, but in the sense of other competitors, I'm never going to be the guy that you're going to kind of look at and be like, damn, man, he's huge.
You don't take up the most stage space.
Yeah. If I'm just standing there, once I start the pose, it's definitely a different thing. But also, there's very few people who are going to be as conditioned as me on stage. I also feel like I came at a perfect time where I came in where size monsters were kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been fortunate to be here and with Tyler taking the division back into aesthetics and being streamlined and putting a metric so that you can't just be this super huge guy and making it for where you have to be top to bottom complete.
Yeah.
So I feel like I came in a great time for a guy like me because I feel like I have a streamlined physique. So now just being bigger than me isn't going to be that's not going to get you a win. It doesn't equal that you're going to beat me. But I kind of like being an underdog though, because if you underestimate me, then you don't see me coming. You know what I mean?
You
You're
know?
so you're so focused looking forward because you think that you have nothing to worry about behind your back that you didn't even realize that I had already passed you.
I love it, man. Like, and I'll say this. When I look at your physique, brother, you're really not missing anything. I mean, you are very balanced. You have the shoulders, you have the chest, you bring the next level of conditioning, you have a good set of legs on you that matches, from front to back. Then you do have a good back, So all of this in mind, when you piece that together, that's what they want. They want balance. Like you're not overly big, but you also have a dense look to you, right? And with that, you still have a small streamlined waistline as well. So you have everything that the division is looking for. And plus, the one thing about you is, bro, you control your variables very well, right? I think your marginal differences of being off versus on aren't crazy. So that's why you're always consistently in that top conversation. But I do have a question for you because like you said, we're talking about trolls. We're talking about people who always want to try to find different ways to bring you down. And I think everybody here has experienced that, whether it's Drew winning a show and the first thing they talk about is his back, right? Or Aaron placing third in the world and acting like he placed last place. And myself winning Optimum and then saying you chose an easy show, right? And it's sitting here saying, I feel like that's disrespectful to the other people who are in that, especially the Olympians who are in that lineup. But you just came off of a show win, and now you're having people comment things like that guy who won, Ryan, is funny. He finds all of the easy shows to do with no competition and slides back to the Olympia. Like when you see comments like that after you step off the stage winning and reaching the ultimate goal that all of us athletes want to accomplish, and now you've done it twice within a same year, how does that make you feel?
Um, when I very first saw it, it definitely was just kind of like, for one, I'm like, who is this guy? You know what I
Yeah, you
mean?
click his
But
profile picture, it's him
yeah, like
hiking.
yeah, like who is this? Who is this guy? But also, it's one of those things that I've done the shows where you have 10, 12 Olympians in the lineup
Yep.
and still held my own. This shit is chess. It's not fucking checkers, man. I could give, excuse my language, I could give a fuck less about what anybody has to say about what show I did and how easy it was. Guess what my goal is? My goal is to get to the Olympia. My placing at the Olympia is my goal.
Yeah.
I do not. You can say, oh, well, you chose the easy show. Yes, I chose strategy. I understood that there were two shows going on domestically in the US at that time. You had the Atlantic Coast, you had Hawaii. A lot of guys who just did the Olympia, you just spend a shitload of money to come to Vegas. So you ain't really trying to spend a whole bunch more money. Your sponsors are already pretty much spent the money they were going to spend for you for the year to send you somewhere for the most part. The foreign guys, your work visa has expired. You have to go back to your country.
Oh, damn.
Listen, I really think about everything. A lot of you guys, you've already been running. You cannot run anymore. You don't have the physique to be able to go back to back, and just maintain that type of physique. And honestly, I'm just in a position where I have the money to be able to travel and go do whatever show I want to do on my own dime without
Talk
any
that talk,
support,
right?
without any
Talk
support
that
from
talk.
without any support from anyone. So yes, because I know a lot of people looked at the Hawaii show, and when they got to looking at hotels, a hotel by itself, you're gonna spend $1,500.
Easy.
Then you got the flight, then you got all the other variables. So if you're not also 100% confident that you'll win, then that don't look good to you. But for me, there, I'm a humble guy always, but in my mind, I was never losing. I wasn't going to Hawaii to lose.
Absolutely,
I
bro.
was never going there to lose. And I didn't even know that the prize money was what it was. That was just like, wow, I didn't even realize
What
that.
was it? What was it?
5 grand.
Oh shit! I did not know that.
Yeah.
I
So
did not know that.
five
Like,
grand.
you see, it,
Hey, shout out to Sean Ray for upping that prize money for the
Yeah,
men's physique.
Tony Tavares, classic physique guy. He's also the person who does that with them. Really, they're doing a
Yeah.
great job with that show.
yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Last year, I saw Ben qualify at Chiru in India. I said, you know what? I want to go there. And next year, I went there. I saw you compete at Hawaii this year. I'm like, damn, that seemed like a dope experience,
Yeah.
and I want to go there. Like, I'm using bodybuilding as an opportunity to also scratch different itches, right? I want to travel. I love it. I love experiencing different cultures. India was the best experience in my bodybuilding career thus far, regardless of whether I stepped off stage with a win or not. It was an amazing experience. But I think people sometimes forget like that one, the bodybuilder's end goal, us as professionals, is to get back to the Olympia.
Mhm.
Nobody gives a fuck about how you get there once you're already there because you're
Once you're already there,
going to share the stage with these
no,
motherfuckers.
yeah, nobody. They when they come out with the list, it doesn't say, oh, it doesn't put an asterisk by your name, but oh, he competed in a show that we feel wasn't
Yeah,
that wasn't that strong. Because
right.
if we're being honest, and no shade to anything or anybody who won any shows. Even if you looked at the Atlantic Coast Pro, people don't get mistaken that just because they're 30 something people that means that it was this super
Stack
extremely
show.
stacked show.
Yep.
Having more people doesn't mean that it was stacked.
I 100% agree. Again,
If you look at the lineup, you definitively already knew who was what.
Top three.
exactly.
Easy.
Yep.
I didn't even know there was another show. I'm so disconnected right now. So
You
can you
don't
pull
even
up?
you don't even
Can
watch
you?
bodybuilding.
I don't. I don't. That's not my main concern right now. I got a business and a health phase to get through. You know what
And
I
as
mean?
you as you should though, Aaron, man, you gave up years of just back to back to back to back
Yeah.
to back to back to back to back to back to back. You know what I mean? That's at the top at the highest level though. No,
Yeah.
we ain't talking about little bullshit. We talking about at the highest level.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So looking at the lineup here, I first do want to start off by saying if you look at it, there are four Olympias qualified.
That's a pretty decent little
Oh
lineup
no, for
right
sure.
The
No,
top,
I was
it
just
was
saying the
very
top
top
guys
heavy.
you knew were going to be the top guys for sure.
Exactly. It was
there. And
very
Emil,
top.
it was crazy. Emil just qualified the week before.
He
Oh
qualified
yeah,
2 weeks in a row.
yeah. He was trying to go for a three-peat.
Yeah, he
Yep.
just qualified
Yeah.
the week
So
before.
Emil is definitely solidified. He's been to the Olympia multiple times, and not to mention he just comes off of 2 back-to-back wins. We have Victor Ramirez, who won Atlantic Coast last year. Obviously, George Brown doesn't need any introduction. We have Juan Gomez, who is somebody probably with some of the highest potential of anybody on the stage. If he can find that,
He can nail that condition, man.
he nails it.
If he had cuts, he would have won this show.
You,
I swear to God.
bro, I'm telling you, Cuss needs to pay you.
Bro, if
No,
he
I'm just being 100. Like, bro, like there's a
Let me
lot
see
of
this.
guys who just they're coaching. I mean, he can even go to Neil Yoda. How you say his
Yoda.
name?
Yeah, Neil Hill.
Neil Hill. You can go to
Yeah.
Neil Hill and he can definitely transform that body. It's about having that right coach, bro. It's not a lot of I'm gonna be real honest with you. There's not a lot of good men's physique coaches out there. And that's just my opinion.
Man,
And the thing is, there's a specific level of levels to this shit. And if some of these guys just went to these other coaches, bro, the physique would transform itself.
I would just
All
having
you
to
got to
talk.
do is do the work. You
Yeah,
just have to do the work.
I was just having to talk with somebody backstage where I said it's not any shade to maybe your coach that you have currently. I
And that's
said,
what I don't want to get. I
but
don't want to get that
yeah,
misunderstanding.
yeah,
It's
it's
not
not
no
any
shade.
yeah,
It's
and
just
it's not no
I
shade,
want you
but
to be better.
there are very few coaches who really know how to break. See, the thing about it is that a lot of coaches, yes, they do a good job from like A all the way, let's say, to Y. But
Why does yeah?
that Z where you're putting your athlete on stage in shape, full, that's where a lot of them miss the mark. You don't know how to actually bring an athlete into the stage. You're giving too many diuretics, you're overfeeding them. You want to introduce pancakes into the fucking diet when you haven't eaten not one fucking pancake your whole fucking prep.
That
Like
part.
you coming in throwing in variables because you think that these things work. Like if I haven't used something to be my refeed the whole prep, you're going to risk doing that before you get on fucking stage. You don't have any data collected
A lot of
to
coaches
know
do
what your
that,
body is
bro.
going to do.
A lot of top men's physique coaches do that shit. I don't got to drop
But what
names.
he's saying is they've used it before
But
in
they
their
used it
preps and
before.
for previous
Yeah,
peak weeks, not just throwing the variable to where it's like, okay, fuck it, let's just go in blindfolded, because I see
yeah,
that happen a lot too, especially at the national level or just a regular local level show. Backstage, they're just eating a bunch of candy because they see
yeah.
their favorite pro
Yeah,
doing it.
but
You know what I'm saying?
some of it is athlete accountability though. Sometimes coaches are saying do this, but you get these pros who get backstage acting like they fucking NPC athletes, and because you saw George Brown over there eating Sour Patch Kids. George Brown been doing this fucking for forever. He knows what to do for his body.
Yeah.
You're
Right.
like, oh, I need to do the same. And you don't think that it affects you until you look on stage and you're like, damn, why the fuck do I look like that?
Yeah.
I just look nice. Everything counts at the end, man. Like, I mean, every single little thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just yeah. Either way, I just like Aaron said, there are just levels to coaching, and there are some coaches who are elite for a reason. You know what I mean? And
Facts.
Let me ask you something,
that's just
and I don't want you to ruffle any feathers. In your personal opinion, based off the product on stage, talking to them in person, who do you believe is the top three coaches in the men's physique division, or in general right now, excluding obviously running?
definitely cuts for sure. Ario's definitely one. Um, I'm gonna have to say my coach, even though he doesn't coach a lot of men's physique athletes, it's not always about quantity but quality.
His quality is phenomenal. He coaches that guy from Asia, and he's fucking insane. He has one of
Yeah,
the
Bro,
crazy.
he coached Brandon.
he
That's
coaches
three.
Brandon. You know what I mean?
Oh, never
He has
mind.
three. He has Brandon. He has a
Duh.
handful. He has a handful of men's physique athletes. Who's the other coach? It's another one. I probably can't think of the name.
Ryan Benson.
Yeah, I would say Ryan Benson. I like him as a person. I like him as a coach. I feel like his product, the guys he puts on stage is pretty freaking solid.
Yeah,
Um, I feel like there's a couple up and coming pro athletes who are also coaches
I think
that
that
are going to end up doing really well.
Coaches, yeah.
Yeah, so
Um,
I'm seeing some good things come out of their camps that, with some fine tuning or whatever, like they could probably definitely be end up being some really good coaches.
it's really
But
funny you say that, bro, because I think men's physique is one of those divisions where it pays dividends to actually have a coach who is within the division, or at least knowledgeable of the division, right? Like you said, Neil, he's coached, Brandon. Like in itself, that's tons of experience just from
he,
that.
he used to coach Ryan Terry.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Neil, a lot of people don't really understand Neil's resume, man. Neil has coached William Bonac, Ryan Terry, bro. He had Ryan Terry before, when he was still Ryan Terry, but before Ryan Terry was Ryan Terry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like Neil has been around a very, very long time. He's coached a lot of very world-class athletes. He has a lot under his belt. I mean, obviously, he has the most winningest 212 champ as his athlete. You know what I mean? You
Crazy.
got just so yeah, but he's yeah, he just been around for a while. I mean, and
He's a
yeah,
legend.
I might sound biased because it's my coach, but I don't care. I fucking love my coach.
Yeah.
He's changed my life.
His resume speaks for itself, bro. And even with you guys, what's unique about your circumstances, and I'm not 100% certain for how long you've been with them, but it's seemingly been for a long time, and it seems like
For
you.
3 years.
So again, and keep in mind, you just qualified for the Olympia, last year for the first time. So you've been through some ebbs and flows with them. You've been through some consistent third place, second places, all these first call outs, but not
I've
getting.
been through 14th place with them. You know what I mean?
So that's what I'm saying. And most people, they jump ship on their coach the second, one bad situation that comes, happens, where I think your guys' relationship is special because he's had the opportunity to grow with you and vice versa, and honestly, when I think of Neil, granted, and I'm more involved in the men's physique division, I think of you. Why? Because I've seen you guys throughout the years together, and you guys, haven't just jumped ship on each other, right? You guys have always been a priority to your guys' camp, which I really think is special because he does have a lot of high character and, high caliber of athletes before you were even an Olympian. But I still always saw him talking about you, posting about you. So I think that's also pretty unique as well. But nonetheless, I know we were bouncing all around. I want to jump backwards. Bro, how was the actual experience in Hawaii? Like, how was the stage experience? How
Oh,
was the actual venue?
so man, when I tell you this is probably one of the most favorite shows I did. Again, shout out to Sean Ray, shout out to Tony Tavares. Um, they put on just an absolutely great show. When I tell you, I met not one rude person in Hawaii.
Oh,
I
they're not
mean,
rude people there.
listen to me.
I
When I
love
tell
it.
you, not one rude person. And granted, this isn't my first time in Hawaii. It's my first time competing there. But man, I mean, just everybody was so kind. I do want to give a shout out to Chad Owens. It was his pro
My guy.
debut.
I was
Yeah.
about to say Chad.
He was very, very kind, and me and him had such a great conversation and just making me understand the culture of why everybody are the way they are there. You know,
Is he
that
Hawaiian?
mantra that they live by there. You know what I mean? And a really, really super humble guy that in reality he could be really cocky because I mean, this dude was a world-class top college athlete. You know what I mean? He's in the Hall of Fame for arena
Records.
football. Like,
Records and Canadian
yeah,
ball.
yeah,
Chad?
that boy was nice like that for real.
No, he was nice. He
He was
Chad
nice.
was
He was
nice.
nice like that for real. Like
Wait.
no cap.
No,
Man,
Chad.
listen,
Chad is that guy.
bro, he
Chad
was
is
like
that
that.
guy. Chad is that guy.
Understand he was like that.
I didn't know that.
Yo, Alex, he was like that.
Oh shit. Okay. And the thing is, it's cool because he just turned pro last year. I think he works on the cut.
Yeah. Bro,
And
listen to me. Listen to me. He was like that, bro. No play. I had to give him his flowers, man. Like he was like that, but he was so super cool. Um, but the other guys, man, it was a nice camaraderie backstage. None of it wasn't that, sometimes you do shows and people mugging each other and it's like everybody's on this kind of type of,
Yeah,
energy.
the tension
Yeah.
is there. Yeah,
Everybody was, I mean, we were all there to compete, but everybody was super cool.
mad chill.
Everybody was big up in each other. You know what I mean? When I was announced the winner, nobody's being salty. Everybody's like, bro, congratulations, man. Great job. Everybody's happy for one another with kind of the way things happen. Um, and again, just I can't talk enough about the hospitality, man. Like I just felt really welcome. We were treated like pros. The show was ran very prompt.
nice.
We were on at 9 a.m. We was the first ones to be on. It was pretty much right there on time. So you could time out your pump. You could make sure that you were on point and you weren't end up sitting there for another 30 minutes afterwards. You know what I mean? And it was super quick. Shout out to Tarek, who was the head judge. The way he judged it was super dope. He definitely gave everybody a chance. It wasn't just like, put out there, okay, this is the person and it's done. He gave time to work guys around to see what you could do. And especially at the finals, he definitely did that. He gave everybody the kind of time to shine. Um, it was just great, man. It
So
was it, it was great.
going in from prejudging the finals, what was your confidence level after holding center down for an extended period of time? Did you feel like you had the show when you went back? Did that kind of translate on stage?
If
Or,
I'm going to be honest, when I woke up in the morning, I knew that it was my show.
hell yeah. I remember that post you made. That
When I
shit.
woke up in the morning, I knew it was my show. I saw the way that we were coming in, and that's no disrespect to any other athlete. That's just speaking to the confidence of myself.
Mhm.
I just knew I was going to be very hard to beat. Like it was going to be hard to beat. In this lineup, I was going to be very hard to beat.
Bro, when do you know what I love about you, bro? You post unfiltered, just check-in photos and videos, and you even write no filter. Like you show people now, this is what I'm looking like. Right before the show, when a lot of
He
times
don't even pose. He just stands there.
he just stands there. Bro just stands there like, what's up? He stands like that running back from Boise.
Because I've just always believed that because I guess that's maybe just a thing that becomes a thing. Like with Neil, my check-ins are just, they're like that. They're standard. It's not me trying to catch the best angle, the best lighting, nothing is just, it's just raw and just what I give it, you know. I just
Yeah.
I'm in shape, so why hide it? I'm about to be on stage. It doesn't. At that point, what's going
The
to
work is
change?
done. The
The
work
work
is
is done.
done.
What's going to change?
Nothing.
And then don't get me wrong. And then don't get me wrong. I know you watching, so let me get inside your head a little bit too.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
Let me get inside. Let me get inside your head a little bit.
Oh man. So do you let me ask you this on the reverse. When you see some crazy updates from people and you're just getting ready to step on stage with them, do you think that gets in your head a little bit? Or do you kind of master the ability to do one but not
Yeah,
do the other?
I don't really, for me on my end, I don't allow shit like that to affect the way that I go about the way I run my race.
Okay.
I'm gonna run my race the way I run it. It might put me on notice because a lot of the times, most of the times, I'm pretty spot on for myself. See, I don't really do a lot of predicting for myself before I get to a competition. I wait till I get there. I might catch you in the tan booth because one thing I don't give a fuck. I will peek my head out. I will not hide the fact that I'm looking at you. I don't care. I want to see if you're in shape. I want to see what you're looking like. Just like even when I did Legion and I came second to Jimbo Lee.
Yeah, yeah.
While everybody was talking about everybody else, when I saw him and we were getting tan, I
No.
said, that's my competition right there. He's going to be the person. He's going to be the person that could be a problem for me.
Yeah. And
And ultimately he ended up winning the show, which, you could do a coin toss on it. You know what I mean? To go either way. But I know what is and what isn't going to be a problem for me. Of course you have some guys that whether I see them or not, if you have somebody like Aaron in the lineup, I don't need to see you in the fucking tan tent to know, you know what I'm saying, that it's a problem or or what's being bought or whatever. So but yeah, I feel like but it's just that I know the work that I put in between the Olympia and this show. I
yeah,
didn't I didn't I didn't get caught up in feeling like I needed to have time to go
the mental
have
stuff.
this normalcy in life or whatever the fuck that people call it. I'm an athlete and this
No,
was always a plan. Hawaii was never something that I got done with Olympia and I looked at it and said, oh, I should jump into this. It was always on my schedule.
no shit. Okay, so you
Yeah.
had pre-planned like prior.
I pre-planned Legion, Olympia, Hawaii. It
So
was always there.
okay, so you really were thinking of this strategically because there were a few shows right after the Olympia you could have easily done, but understand
Exactly.
that there was a lot of other
But
people.
yeah, but understanding this, what so I'm gonna go where I fell in Olympia, I fell what maybe like 27, 28, right?
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna go put myself in a position to potentially have to go face some of the guys who just placed in front of me. And not saying that they'll always place in front of me, but just a week prior,
Mhm.
placed in front of me. When everybody's gonna run to the shows. For what? When I can take my time, take 5 weeks, improve, come back even better and just play the long game. Like, why not?
Bro,
It's always strategy for me. I wanted to go get another win because I needed to solidify my application for the Arnold. Like these my plan the whole entire time. As soon as I qualified, it was okay. I talked to my coach. I said we're gonna do the Legion. Even if I won Legion, I was still doing Hawaii regardless. I said, well, fuck it. I'll just be in shape and go on vacation. You know,
the way
it
to
was
look.
always Legion, Olympia, Hawaii. After Hawaii, if everything fell the way that it needs to, put an application in for the Arnold.
Okay,
That
so
was always my plan.
I didn't know that that was happening. So it's official that you are putting your application in.
My application is in. I put my application in the night that I won.
That's huge, bro. That's
I
awesome.
had already had my essay pretty much almost already written. I was just waiting to go put another win on my record before I submitted my act.
This is a win-win situation for you. It really is. It's the first ever Arnold experience, right? That in itself is a win. But also, there's only people who placed ahead of you, as of I know right now, who are likely applying for it.
Yeah, for sure.
So because of that, if you stand toe to toe with them and either beat them or show that you belong, what's that going to do for the rest of your season?
Oh no, absolutely. And
All the
that's what it is for
game.
me. In the thing about it, I talk about being realistic all the time. Am I going to go to the Arnold Classic and win? No, I'm not going to go win the Arnold Classic. Not this year, at least. I'm not going to go win the Arnold Classic. But it's me. But I am going to go if I am selected, fortunate enough to be selected. Then it's going to be me going there saying this isn't a fluke,
Oh yeah.
and I'm here. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I can stand with the best on arguably the second biggest stage, bodybuilding behind the Olympia. So, you know, everybody has their opinions. I mean, you got Dubai trying to creep up, but still.
No, not trying.
Yeah, it is. Like, but
Bro, money
uh
speaks nowadays. Like, let's just be real. When it comes to these shows, money speaks.
yeah, you know what I mean? Cause for real. But yeah, man, I'm just on my grind, man, and I'm running my play, and this was always my play, was this, and a lot of people don't know this. It holds a very special thing for me because the Arnold is actually what got me started into bodybuilding. I went to the Arnold in 2019 for a pole competition. Actually, one of my friends owns a pole studio. I was there helping out. I went there, and I remember having a little bit of knowledge. I was one of those guys that, like, yeah, I knew about Arnold. Granted, I knew about Brandon Hendrickson. I knew about Rhyan. I knew about Shanique Grant. Like, I knew some of the top people. I got pictures with these people. I was just there as a fan, a spectator, like, not really having too much knowledge of anything. But I remember being there and saying, damn, man, this is what I want to do this.
Yeah,
Like,
bro.
this is and when I made that decision, I'm maybe at that time, maybe 145 pounds soaking wet, man.
Damn.
Like no BS. I went there in March to the Arnold. I was on stage by June, and I was a pro a year later.
Yeah.
Man. So, and then I'm from Ohio originally, so it's
So full
I'm
circle.
from I'm from just an hour away from where the Arnold is at. So this would be an opportunity for the first time for my family, because outside of my daughter, I've never had any of my family ever be at any of my competitions. I've done all these things, but I've never been the person who has like the family in a crowd cheering them on and rooting them on. You know what I mean? So it'll be an opportunity to kind of have that. You know, I'm either by myself or it's my wife with me. Like, I don't, and one time I had one of my very close friends come, but outside of that, I don't.
It's always been you.
It's just me. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm very big on my support system. I'm very blessed that I have my family kind of travel wherever. So I know that importance of that. So having that home, ground experience. What's up, Men's Physique fans? Now, because we don't have a sponsor for the podcast yet, we're going to sponsor it. We don't need anybody else. So with that being said, I know you guys are getting bombarded this time of the year with tons of Black Friday promotional ads, and I don't want to be another one who is consistently nagging. So I'll make this one simple and straight to the point. But I'm telling you guys right now, if you guys are looking for elite level fitness wear that are exactly what you need in terms of form fitting, affordable, and allow you just to simply diversify up your wardrobe, because that will absolutely motivate you to get in the gym and work your ass off. As Deion Sanders always says, you look good, you feel good, you play good. So with that, guys, sales all the way up to 90%. Items that were usually $70 are now all the way going down to $8. And for years, Alphalete has always been known as the brand that was quote unquote a little less affordable, even though they had great quality. Now they match their great quality with affordable prices. So if you guys are looking for tanks, if you guys are looking for cutoffs, you guys are looking for pump covers, you guys are looking for sweat gear, loungewear, but now you can get it at a discounted price. But on top of that, you can use my code Alex at checkout. Well, not only will that directly support your boy, but will also save you an additional 10% off of all of the crazy sales already. So again, if you guys end up using my code, please tag me in your purchase orders on Instagram. I'm going to be giving out a giveaway for those of you guys who have support, and I cannot thank you guys enough. If you guys want to know a little bit more about the items, take a look at the description box below. You guys have a full breakdown of all the items that will be on sale. Stock up for Christmas, stock up for your girl, stock up for everybody. I love you guys. Back to the episode. It's definitely, like I said, it's going to be a full circle moment for you. Now, before we transition into talking about some other shows here, I want to ask you a question, because this conversation has been brought up a few times over the years about your specific physique. There's been rumors that you've gotten stabbed. There's been rumors that all of this stuff has happened, and I want you to just completely make everybody aware of the reality of your situation. But there's no question you're extremely balanced, right? You have a crazy back. There's obviously that one variable that sticks out
Yeah.
and that most people don't know what actually happened. Can you tell people what it actually is?
Yeah. Well, for one, I've never been stabbed because I'm a free man in this world. I'd be doing life if that's the case. This is so no. So actually, I'm a miracle baby. When I was born and my aorta was wrapped around my windpipe. I couldn't breathe. Uh, the scar that you see on my back is because, as an infant, your heart tends to be closer to the back than it is to the front. So they went through my back to make this repair. Also, a lot of people don't even realize this though. I had a trach for the first 5 years of my life.
Damn.
So that's where it comes from. It doesn't come from any type of violent attack or anything like that.
People want to say anything.
Yeah, I was never stabbed or or anything like that. But that's where it comes from, and the scar just kind of grew in my body. I feel like we've done a pretty decent job at really working around it. When I very first started, it was something that was it was extremely obvious. Um, but we've done some work. I've definitely put money and time and focus into growing around that scar as
It works.
well.
It works.
So, learning how to pose my back in a manner for which it doesn't highlight it as much. It almost kind of looks more like
Like
definition
it
than
looks
it
like
does
detail.
scar.
It looks like detail. It's the first thing I was going to say.
Yeah, it
But
looks like detail.
but you needed the density to have that. Like
Yeah,
otherwise it would look too flat with it. So
absolutely.
over the last year and a half or so, I think I've noticed this dramatically change in that's the one thing that's the reason why I wanted to brought it up because you literally have turned something that is very hard to change. It's on your body. It's permanent, right? But you've
Mhm.
also manufactured around it in order to still kind of bring it to life and damn near make it work in your favor. It literally looks
Yeah,
like added
because
detail.
it in a weird way on the right side, it almost symmetrically looks like a detail that's on
Yes,
both sides.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
right here, it looks
yeah,
like
right
the same
there. So
thing
it kind of
here.
just looks like this detail is there. So I mean, um, a lot of ISO work, a lot of ISO work. That's really what was the game changer for me. And then just my mindset, man. I over the past couple of years, with the difference that became my placings is that I decided to be a full-time bodybuilder.
So
It,
how'd you do that though? We talk about this all the time on this channel, right?
ment- it was a for me it was a mentality. It was never that because I work for myself, man. I don't go punch nobody's clock, so I'm not bound by anybody else's schedule but my own. It was a mentality for me. It
Okay.
was me deciding, do you want to just be a guy who gets in shape and gets on stage, or do you want to be one of the guys who could be one of the best in the world? What is it that you want to do? You
Yeah.
know, how will you know your true potential unless you've given it 100%? And let me tell you how real my coach Neil is. When he saw the changes and he's like, damn, what are we doing? This like you are you doing something different outside the protocol that I gave you? And I'm like, well, no, coach. And he said, if that's the case, and he set me down, and this is why I love him because he was real. He looked me in my face and he said, if I ever feel like you're not giving 100% again, I will fucking drop you as an athlete. I don't give a fuck about your money because I see what we look like now, and I know for a fact that you weren't giving 100% before, and I would not accept that out of you. I won't waste my time with it. If you want to blow your potential on what you could be, I'm not going to be a part of that. You know what I mean? She said, so don't, if I ever fucking catch you or feel like that you're not giving it everything you're supposed to give, no hard feelings, but I will no longer coach you.
I respect the hell out of that, man. That's not an easy
You know what I
conversation.
mean? And man, I was just like shit. But it still was just like a lot of coaches these days they're just gonna continue to get their money. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like you like, oh, okay, cool, maybe better next time. You know what I mean? But
You said it
um,
perfect. You have a coach that holds you to a very high standard. And
very
I'm
much.
I, I I do the same thing with my clients to a point where I'm very comfortable having that uncomfortable conversation. And if that means that you aren't able to handle that, go find somebody else who's going to sugarcoat because that's not going to be, I don't care how much potential you have. I'm not going to butt heads when all I want to do is make you the best version of you. When in reality, all you want to do is try to find the easiest way to get there. When bodybuilding, when you break it down to its simplicity, it's very simple, right? You execute the game plan that from the coach that you've hired, who you're supposed to trust. And then from there, right, they're supposed to educate you on your body, educate you on the process. And in return, you then allow to collect data, make adjustments in order to reach that optimal goal that you guys both have together. But if
Absolutely.
one person wants it more than the other, then that's when the friction is going to start happening. And again, we're not all perfect, right? We're humans behind this. So the coach might mess up here and there, the athlete might mess up here and there, but there's accountability that needs to be taken. And once that accountability is taken, you then simply reset, retarget, and aim. And again, mutual respect needs to be there. And that's what I love
Yeah,
with.
absolutely. The reality is that most people who get into bodybuilding, you have a lot of people who get in bodybuilding because they just like they love fitness. Most of the people who get in bodybuilding is because they're trying to prove something to somebody. Somebody pissed them off. Somebody told them they were fat. Somebody told them that they wasn't this. Some ex-boyfriend made a chick feel like she wasn't this. So I'm gonna glam up on them. Some guy got rejected by some girl. So he said, oh, I'm gonna go have muscles now. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go get on stage. And a lot of people that first time around, they get on stage for the wrong reasons. Along the journey, you'll fall in love with the process,
Oh,
but
yeah.
a lot of the time, selfishly, it's the other things in life that make us want to get on stage. Yes, I went to the Arnold, and yes, I was inspired by what I saw. But even with that, my very first time getting on stage wasn't solely because of just bodybuilding. It was me saying to myself that, well, shit, I can't be short and not have muscles. I can't be short and fucking skinny. So I'm gonna go have muscles now. So people can say, oh, damn, man, like you
Yeah,
you
no,
you
I
you
get
put some you got some size on you. But then I fell in love with the aspect of fitness and what it truly means to be an athlete. And uh even though I was in the Marines, I feel like bodybuilding brings me more discipline than the military did, which a lot of people would be like, oh, well, you're in the Marines. You've always been disciplined. No, actually, I'm not. There's a lot of shitbags in the military who don't have any discipline at all. Fat, nasty,
damn.
unsat motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Just if we're just keeping it real, no
Right.
disrespect, because I mean I love the fact that I'm a Marine, but people get this kind of stigma that like be people in the military that everybody's just so squared away. No, not everybody's not squared away. You still got the same things you deal with anywhere. So,
Can I ask you
but
something that's completely off the bodybuilding topic? I feel like over the last decade, the world has gotten generally softer. And we heard the restrictions from being like in the military, being a Marine, right, has actually dropped, right? Like,
yeah, man, it has drastically, man. When I went through, man, I fucking went through fucking hell, man. Like I used to get my ass whooped in boot camp, bro. Like for real,
now
man.
I heard there's certain things they can't say, do.
Yeah, man. Like,
Damn, they got that tough.
yeah, man. I mean, I always it just yeah, it's just
Yeah, you have to be
yeah,
careful.
it's just not. It is not what it used to be. I'm not taking away from it, but it's just not what it used to be. But that's also just because you get people who got to come in and feel like they got to change everything. You got to water down everything, and things are tough for a reason. Being like going through Marine boot camp and it being super tough is because your mistakes is going to be the person next to you. Life will be taken for your mistakes. Most likely won't be you.
Yeah,
It's that toughness and that mental fortitude and that understanding of not being complacent that makes it for where everybody gets back home. You know what I mean? We all make it back. So um yeah,
I get it.
I don't know what it is. It's a
All right, real quick.
daycare.
Let's turn to put our analyst caps on because we had 5 pro shows this past weekend, 5, and they were spanning from all over the world. And I want to get your guys' opinion on kind of what we've seen. I think this is getting to a point now where we're actually going to see a drastic drop off of shows from this point on, and I'm going to miss the hell out of it. So I feel at least a few more times throughout the season, I want to, try to give, the audience a little bit of a breakdown of currently what's happening in the division through the show. So we just had the Atlantic Coast. This was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And like I said previously, out of this top five, four of them were 2024 Olympia qualified. Obviously, Neil just won back-to-back shows. George Brown, like I said, is a legend in the sport, a guy with high potential, and a previous winner coming back and getting it. So, Drew, do you think, man? Like, what do you see here? Let's break down the top five, top six.
So I think it's a clear top three. Now at the bottom, 4 through 6, I see Marcel, who's in 6. Conditioning's good, just needs more size, more fullness throughout the chest. Needs to work on that front pose. I don't know if this was what he was holding or if it's just a bad picture. I don't know what it is. He has, the shape. He just needs to work on his posing. He has good conditioning. Sharif, always a bigger guy on stage. He just looks like how Ryan was saying earlier, a little bit tired. These guys that run the gauntlet, that kind of put all their eggs in one basket, kind of just, they're peaking for Olympia and then they're coming into a show afterwards and they don't look as tight. So it's not even about being spilled over. It's just your body gets tired after running, the gauntlet for so long. Another guy with a lot of size, and comparing him to his best, he just was not at his best. Gochez, I think he's the best structure in this lineup. It just, his conditioning never really hits it. It just seems like his abs are a little bit washed out. He's always harder from the back. You'd see like just his taper. He looks a lot harder from the back. You could tell that his lines are there, his detail is there, but the front just doesn't match up. And the front is where it really separates him. He's one of those guys that is super, super strong from the back, but when they face to the front, he just, falls behind a little bit. Now the top three are separated, I would say, a significant amount. George, super conditioned, super balanced. I just think in this lineup, the fullness from his shoulders kind of hindered his taper a little bit. Great core, great symmetry. But just as far as like the fullness from the front compared to Emil, just he wasn't quite there. Now I think Emil had the best back in the show. If you go back to the back post, I think he had the best back in the show.
I think Gochez had the best back. What do you think, Ryan?
I think the lower lats for Emil, I think Gochez is more complete out of all the variables, but I think that Emmanuel wins from the front and Gochez may have got the edge in the back just from conditioning. I just think as far as the completeness of the back here for Emil with the lower lats, I think he could use a little bit more center thickness, but just with the lats, it just, maybe I'm just looking at it from perspective of what I need in my physique, of what I see. Like I know I need the lower lats, and he has that.
If Emil Walker pushed his chest up a little bit more, he'd have a little bit more pop in his trap area, and rotated his shoulders underneath a little bit, and he'll have a better,
because he kind of has like this bow,
like a round. You want to have that back to pop back at us, not to round it.
To me, I felt like Emil. To me, Emil, if I'm having to choose one, I would have probably chosen Emil to have the best back. Now, granted, Gochez back he's very peeled from the back and he has great structure, but Emil almost reminds you of like fucking Ray Mott of a Ray Mott. You know what I mean? Like
I can see it.
He kind of has that stature. The top three were the top three that I picked. Victor, sometimes people don't understand how dangerous Victor is. When I saw him in the lineup, I said, oh, because at first I was like, okay, Emil and George, and then I was looking at the list and somebody said, no, bro, you got Victor Ramirez. I said, oh, he's gonna be a problem. I didn't even know that he won it last year.
Yeah.
But I did Body B1 with him when he won in 2023, when he won the Body B1 Classic, and he's just solid, man. He crazy looking physique, super cool guy. He gonna walk around with the shortest shorts you ever seen.
Yeah. He always does, bro. He got the jean shorts on.
He was walking around in Daisy Dukes all Olympia.
He was funny. But, dude, I'm telling you, we all see updates, especially myself covering a lot of these guys going into the Olympia. I saw his updates, bro. And I'm sitting here like, nobody's talking about him. And like how you do, bro, when you don't put filters on your shit. He doesn't put filters. He just walks around on his story, puts updates. I'm like, this motherfucker is real, peeled in real life. Like, filterless, peeled. And I knew that once I saw him getting the tan, I knew this motherfucker was dangerous. I knew it. I knew it. And he plays 15th in the world, right? So people, he's ranked. You can't sleep on that. And it was kind of crazy because a lot of people didn't have him even in the top 5 in this show. And I'm like, I don't know how this is even, I don't know how you call yourself a fan of
Yeah.
him if you don't know this motherfucker is this dangerous. But
Yeah.
I mean, look at him, man. Like,
He looked good at the O. He
I
looked
think
really good at.
he looked better at the O than he did at Atlantic. But again, same thing, right? He has been running it. He is known as a guy who does a lot of these shows. So, it's gonna be dangerous, man. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
just
dangerous.
yeah, he has a really balanced physique, man. Top to bottom, great legs, but
Yeah,
just very balanced. But yeah, once I saw him in the lineup, I said, "Oh yeah, man,
it's over.
that's gonna be tough." Now, I do feel like if this maybe had been Emil's first show after the Olympia, and he was like super extremely crisp, I feel like he probably could have got the W here. Um, but like you said, it's not that Emil doesn't look great, but you can kind of look and just tell that he's 3 shows in, pretty
Yeah.
much 4 shows back to back to back, Olympia, and then he's been running ever since. And he's traveling on top of that. So yeah.
Have you guys noticed the IFBB started doing something a little different when they started to put like the placings of the guys and the scorecards right away after the show on?
hmm
It's
Oh,
really
on
cool.
the NPC News.
Yeah, I'm just on ifbbpro.com here. I'm gonna share it here. It's pretty cool, man. And this is why I love like right now. I've noticed a clear difference ever since Tyler started taking over, where they're doing more stuff like this, making things a little bit more easily accessible. But like they have these here. It's very easy to follow. But I saw it might just be online on your phone where it was a little bit different, but it's really cool that they're doing stuff like this, man, because it's before it was like a photo they used to take and just upload it
Yeah,
on the web.
yeah,
Remember that?
yeah.
But they're getting more a little user friendly, and it's something for those of you guys out there who want to look up even previous shows. You can go on and do that and kind of see exactly the results of shows. And that's something as myself, as I'm trying to study these shows and see what the judges are looking for. And the same thing you guys can do. You guys can then go on and see exactly kind of how the flow of shows are being, or what physiques on stage are being rewarded. But nonetheless, Atlantic Coast, phenomenal show. George Brown wins the 40 and over category. He is now going to Tokyo, which is
Japan, baby.
a dope ass experience. So congratulations to George, and then Victor again, 2 time, and then Emil already solidified going back to the Olympia. All right, I want to. Oh, I don't know what I just clicked, but I want to go over the Natty Boys. I want to take a look at this, yo. I don't know what's going on with water they're drinking, but these guys are looking pretty damn good. I had the opportunity to be here in person. The guy who placed third was my client, so it was really cool seeing this. But starting off with Tory Washington, again, I've known Tory for a while. He actually was in the pro debut that I saw or that I competed in. Tory has always been known as like the Natty King. He's always in the top conversations at Ben Wieters and continue shows around there. And also, before I jump in, giving Tyler Mannion another shout out, man, because they're putting a lot of emphasis into the natural divisions starting in 2025, where there's going to be a road to the Olympia and road to turning pro much more available to these guys. And I think as years pass, we used to look at natural athletes as kind of why do it, right? If you're going to do it, then do it. But I also understand, their understanding of trying to keep things as clean as possible, stay as healthy as possible. And when I'm looking at these physiques, though there might be slightly underdeveloped on average, they look fucking awesome, man. And conditioning was next level for a lot of these guys. But again, Tory Washington looks really good. I think the biggest thing is he can widen his last from the front, which I think will give him a little bit more of a taper. He does have a small waist, but he looks a little narrow in his front shot. And maybe Aaron can help him with his posing a little bit because I think if he angles his waistline a little bit too, I think that could help bring it to life. If you look at our 5th place, Raymond, same thing, right? So you notice how he angles his hips. And I think that if Tory can do that, I think it was going to bring him into life. Aaron, what do you think about locking out this knee? Like, notice how this knee is locked out compared to how Tory's is. Like, do you think this kind of makes it look a little stiff and uncomfortable, or do you recommend people doing that?
I used to have my knee locked out like that, but it just was a different look.
Yeah.
But I started to bend the knee just a little bit, just to give it more of an X frame type
Flow.
of structure look. So
Looks
I
more.
would definitely not like hyperextend lock it like that. I would loosen it up just a little bit and
Yeah, and
turn
it's
his
just
shoulders or his shoulders more towards the judges.
the back shoulder. Yeah, like the general rule of thumb is you want to be able to see this lat underneath here, like even just a little bit here, and like you said, wrap the shoulders around. You don't want to, have self-inflicting wounds. Like if you look at basically everybody else in the call out, notice how you can still see their back hip line, right?
Yeah.
And they're still angled, so you still get the best of both worlds. You just don't want to overdo it. And this guy's a great taper. There's no question about it. But he can be hurting himself if he angles a little too much. And that's
But overall, man, I was freaking extremely impressed by what I saw from
oh yeah,
natural guys, man. I was just like,
I don't know what's going on, but
I was just like, wow. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's definitely these guys really bought it, because you see some and what I feel like is that they've also taken notice that they actually truly definitively have a lane now
yeah,
that's real. And because of that, I feel like a lot of guys are taking it a lot more serious to say, I can go and have a successful career in bodybuilding as a natural athlete, but not have this asterisk by my name because I can't get to the Olympias of the world being natural. Now it's this thing where, unless I'm going to compete against other athletes who aren't natural, you know what I mean?
mhm.
And then I'm going to be at a disadvantage, so to speak, in some aspect, because obviously if you're going to the Olympia, you're about to go face the best in the world anyway. So I mean, you gotta come bring it.
No, I
But
agree.
being able to feel like that you're qualifying on a more even playing field to get to the Olympia definitely makes it and the integrity that they kept with this show with doing like the actual polygraph test and everything, I
Oh,
felt that was really dope because it's going to keep away people who are fake natty, who try to come in and feel like this is some easy route that they can take.
100%. And they didn't used to do that too. And there was actually people who would come who were not natural and they would fucking steal the show. It has happened, and I'm not going to say
Mhm. I've seen it. I've seen
yeah. So
it.
they use this as an opportunity for an easy qualification, which I think is much different between strategy and that shit. You know what I mean? So, Drew, break down the top three. Number three is my client, so I don't want to be biased here.
So number three, I could argue he has the best condition. Go to his back again. I remember you posting updates. Usually I could tell from the back. Yeah. I mean, he's the most developed from the back. He stole the show from the back, along with I would say number four.
Yeah,
Number
four.
four has a really, really good shape. I'd say he has the best shape,
Yeah.
like as far as men's physique is aesthetics, right? Number three, I think it was a structural thing. I think as far as taper from the front, a little bit wider of a waist, the way that he did angle, it did present. That looks like the best pose for his physique to do. I mean, I wouldn't really critique his leg placement or anything. The only thing I would say is probably roll that elbow forward a little bit more to make that delt pop because he does have a really full chest, but I think it came down to structure. Number two, really good shape, really good structure. I
Crazy.
just think that maybe what's up?
So just a little background on him. This is his third year in a row placing second at Ben Wieters. He has probably the smallest waist that I've ever seen in person. I'm not kidding. It doesn't make any sense. And I know Tyler loves his look, but again, he this year he definitely missed. Believe it or not, he looks conditioned, but he missed a lot
Yeah,
of.
I'm like when I'm looking, I arguably could put him in fourth place over second. You know what I mean? Yeah, something about his physique just looks off to me. I mean, great
He was
The
flat.
size,
ab
great,
structure, the ab
great
structure.
structure, but
This was
I wouldn't have placed him second.
this was him last year. He did look last year. He was much
Yeah,
fuller.
I remember seeing him last year,
But
and it looked crazy.
look how full he is here comparative
You
to
can't
the.
really see it. You gotta scroll up a little bit.
You can't see this.
Well, I
Yeah,
can only
no,
see the
like when
top
he
of it.
walked up,
Oh,
when he
oh,
walked
oh.
forward.
So look how full his chest is here. Dramatically different.
I
Like,
think it's his abdominal structure, just
I
genetically,
had my
it's
I had my
rough.
screen zoomed in. I'm
It's
sorry.
tough to look at. That's the thing. It's not symmetrical. It's not like a natural symmetrical abdominal structure, like a traditional abdominal structure, if that makes sense. I think that's what's holding him back. Now, if he had a clear six pack, I think that probably could have put him, even in that first spot.
But his back is going to be his Achilles heel,
hold on,
though.
hold on. Aaron, do you not think this is like a good core? Like, am I missing something? I might be. Like, you don't think this is like a good enough core to be considered like top guys at consistent shows, or does this like
Conditioning, yeah, but not his
He just
structure.
doesn't. He just doesn't have pretty abs,
yeah
like per se. You know what I mean?
yeah? I
He
mean,
has like that deep, that kind of deep in the center type of thing going on.
Ryan has that.
Like, you said what?
Ryan
Yeah,
has.
but he has this
But
is
but
like
But
Ryan,
he
but
also
but
have a
Ry-
bottom ab.
yeah, but Ryan's muscle bellies are fucking huge, and they go all the way down, and they're like very developed. His are kind of a little bit more small. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying, and then the gap in the middle is just something. I
And
think.
then when you get down to those lower ones, they're not. It just looks kind of maybe almost like a pudge almost. It doesn't really look. It looks
So
like
so he
one
needs
big
to be
block,
extra peeled. He needs to
extra
be
peeled.
extra peeled.
And I think that's what he was trying to
Kind of
do.
like a Diogo Mate. It's like a
Yes.
Diogo issue.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
And I think that's what
exactly.
he was trying to do because again, guys, look how much like flatter he was here. You know,
Hmm.
yeah.
like it's noticeably different. And I get it. He's pushing for that conditioning, but I think if he was full, he would have won this show. I think it was only 1 point difference. So I think he could have done it. I mean,
Go to the back again.
I don't. I think his back is very not.
It's kind of the same thing with the back. It washes out from that lower lat. Maybe it's a posing thing too. His arms look like the invisible bike, when you're riding it
yeah,
high.
it's too high. Yeah,
It's taken away. Like he's putting too much emphasis on his rear delts and his upper trap that his lower isn't popping to the maximum
I
because he
agree.
looks really, really wide from the front. I think he needs to lower his arms to really have that lat pop.
I agree. All right, and then lastly, coming in at winning the show, qualifying for the Olympia in his first pro show, just turning pro earlier this year. We have Titus, my boy, and that's actually his last name, my boy. So, dude looks phenomenal. He had the craziest conditioning in the show. I don't think it's highlighted here very well. The worst
Mhm.
posing in the show, and I'm not fucking kidding. So I'm surprised that he won this based off his posing, but his look in itself was there. But his posing really, really hurt him. I mean, no disrespect, you can clearly even see it in his profile picture here, right? Like my man, it was just hurting himself dramatically with his posing. Um, I really want to see him fix this. I'm not kidding. Backstage, I try to run back there to even tell him like, "Hey, man, you have an opportunity to win this show if you clean up your posing." He just the hands were very high on his waistline, like here.
Oh yeah, he's
The
posing
front
like
lat spread.
he posing like he classic physique.
Exactly. He was squeezing his chest so it concaved it. It didn't look as full as possible. His like in his back shot, his arms were high and they were not even. His right shoulder was higher than his left. And again, don't get me wrong, he was peeled. But like even
But
looking,
but that goes to show he must have been he was so peeled that it
it
didn't
didn't
even
matter.
matter.
Bro,
It didn't even matter.
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm sitting right up here. Like my seat is literally right behind these judges. And I'm like, this man has the best conditioning I've seen in a while in person, but the worst posing I've seen in a while. And I thought that was going to hurt him bad, man. I'll be honest with you. His posing was so bad, I didn't even think he was going to make the first call out. And that's like, I'm not trying to disrespect, but again,
No, that's just real though. You know what I
but
mean?
yeah, like I'd never seen somebody put it this way. I'd never seen somebody have the worst posing in a show win a show. So because of that, I thought it hurt him. But don't get me wrong, he had a crazy physique. But he's gonna have to fix that. And that's a good thing, right? He has the time to fix that going into the Olympia because I do hope he takes that time off just to grow now. Like put on as much tissue because he's a little narrow and not as D3D. And again, dude has so much potential. Like this conditioning, again, he has a good back, right? He just needs to add some more density to it. But I'm excited for him. You got to realize this is his first pro show, and now he's
You
going
know
on.
how he kind of posed like his back? It reminds me a lot of Ricardo Sinet.
Yes,
Like it's
Mm.
there, but he's not hitting his angle and it's taken away. But I think maybe they do give a little leeway to the natural because he stuck out so much to where
he
he
shouldn't.
looks enhanced, which is a compliment to these guys because he looks enhanced. Obviously, he could fine tune, and there's a difference between the pro like guys and the naturals, but he looked light years ahead with muscle maturity and just his detail compared to the other guys. And he has a pretty physique. He just has to pose it the same way, and that would put him in the. It shows the lack of stage time experience that he has watching these.
Yes, Aaron. If I were you, bro, I would hit his ass up and turn him into a freak because he has what it takes. It's just like you said, even here, he's hitting a front relax for a front shot. You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
it doesn't. It don't look bad for a front lat spread.
No, yeah, it doesn't. But
It
guys,
looks.
Hey,
It looks good.
he doing what I did when I did my first NPC show.
exactly, like
You got to
exactly.
take it out. You got
Bro,
to take it.
like you could clearly see, bro. Look, look how fucking detailed he is.
Yeah, what a bad picture, and you could still see
He's
his ab
pretty
separation.
edged
And
out.
Yeah, dude looks insane. So I'm excited to see what he does in the 2025 season. Now, what else we got? I want to end with this quick breakdown because this was a lot closer than I originally expected it to be. So we had Corey Morris going against a new pro in Felix. Felix actually is coached by Carlos Ocran, and he made his pro debut here. And this motherfucker showed up, man. He looked really good. And it's funny because he's very comparable to Cory. So I'm curious to know what you guys think based off of this. But obviously, Cory gets the dub. He's doing the world tour right now. He just did the China BMS Pro. Now he's off to Tokyo to compete there before he heads back home. But first, breaking down the physiques. I know it's harder to see here, not the best videos, but what do you guys think?
very similar as far as height and their structure.
Seasoned.
Like
Seasoned.
Yeah. Do you think this was
It
the
don't
best
matter.
Corey Morris?
No, it don't matter how like good that guy came in. Cory is seasoned. You can tell in the posing, the confidence on stage. It don't matter how close it was. He wasn't beating Cory.
Do you think he's not beating him though? And I don't like saying this word, but politics. And I'm not saying he didn't deserve the win, but I'm saying like, do you think?
Oh, I'm saying seasoned.
Like,
No,
Seasoned.
just
When it comes like it don't like
presence.
comparisons to the body, absolutely. Yes, the kid conditioning, yes, everything was there. But the stage presence, the confidence, the posing, all that shit adds up in those damn points. So you're not gonna beat somebody who is seasoned and you're doing this sidestepping your pose and you're not confident. You know what I mean? So don't get me wrong, the kid looked fucking phenomenal.
yeah,
But seasoned versus newbie.
Yeah. That's how I feel about it, is that he has an insane out of this world physique.
Absolutely.
Crazy
Absolutely.
physique. He actually he's really good friends with the guy who plays, I think, the one guy who he was first call out at the Olympia. Really crazy, freaky physique.
Carlos.
Yeah, with Carlos. Or whatever.
that's his
So
client. That's his
That's
client.
his coach.
I think it's his coach. Yeah, matter of fact, it's his coach. So, but like Aaron was saying, it's a thing where even if you're comparable, even if like physique is close, this is where Cory looks so polished and so comfortable.
Like, look at the
and
transition.
so statuesque, like on stage. Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything is so pristine, and it doesn't look like he's thinking about it. The other guy, you can tell he's thinking about it. He's on stage like, damn, okay, am I hitting my pose the right way? And like, you know what I'm saying? Like the moment almost seemed a little bit too big for him, a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
where it's just kind of like, man, I can't believe I'm here. I'm here, but I can't really believe it. If he was polished, it might have it. I still think
And again,
I still think Cory wins here,
oh yeah, absolutely.
whether he was polished or not. But very impressive though. I mean, absolutely
Real.
extremely impressive.
Do you think this guy Felix can qualify for the Olympian?
100%.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
for sure.
with no fucking question. I mean,
Yeah.
again, just so you guys know, he turned pro at this show and then stepped on stage the next day and was,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wrap your head around that. Like, this motherfucker is here. Like,
It's going to upset some people.
But you can tell he's somebody who took his time. That, you know, a lot of the time, most people don't. You could tell he's somebody who took his time and actually built the physique before he ever kind of really, you know, just one of those people who just really took the time to really kind of build his physique. And then I think not trying to be funny, but genetics, man.
Yeah,
He has supreme genetics, man. And that's just the real of it.
yeah. Like, I'm sorry. Thank his parents. His parents gave him a lot of this shit. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Man.
I'm sure he works his ass off, and that's how he maximizes it. But I mean, shit.
Genetics is a real thing. People try to like understand genetics is a real thing. You know what I mean? Some people are genetically gifted in certain areas, and that's just the reality of it.
Yeah, but dude looks amazing, and there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be qualifying for the Olympia. I mean, he does one more show. To me, he's going to be a favorite. But it's been good, man.
But he's about to compete against Cory again, right? Back to back.
I mean, if he goes to Tokyo, maybe. I don't know if the list.
I think they are.
Cory's doing Tokyo as well.
Yeah, so that guy is doing Tokyo.
Oh, I don't know. I
Like
don't know.
that would be wild if he did Tokyo again. It would be. I don't see the Tokyo list
Oh,
here.
I thought I misheard you. I thought you said that he was doing Tokyo, so that's my
Um,
bad. I
Lineup
apologize.
should
I
be out.
thought you said that he was.
what country or what show do you want to do that you haven't done yet? Obviously outside tour.
Me, I definitely want to, man, after seeing that big ass stage, I definitely want to go to Dubai, man. That just looks like just insane. It looks like just a crazy, amazing experience. And I would
No,
love
man,
to.
the experience there was absolutely incredible. It's incredible.
I mean, I
Incredible.
know it
It's
was,
something
and
totally different.
just because culturally, the way that the way that you have to be in Dubai for people who are guests and people who come to your country, it's like the ultimate level of hospitality that you couldn't even imagine. One of my friends has an apartment there, my boy Mike, and he tells me all the time, just like, man, it's just insane. And then I just feel like they really showed ultimately we we are going to give you your flowers for being as big as you should be. We're going
Yes.
to put on this world class production for you because you deserve it. We're going to pay you this money because you deserve it. We're going to treat you exactly the way that you should be treated because you deserve it. It's not saying that any of the other shows don't, but I feel like that because there's such a multitude of shows and everything like that. I mean, I mean, I know it's been talked about, but men's physique athletes, the men's physique division is a draw, point blank. Period. People can try to deny it, say whatever. It is a draw.
What
It
do you
is
mean
the
by that? Hold
division. It
on.
is.
What do you mean by that?
I'm saying that at shows, the men's physique division sells tickets.
Oh,
You know what
yes.
I mean? It sells tickets. Men's physique division is the one that I feel like when most guys look at bodybuilding, men's physique is the most obtainable division to say, okay, you know what? Maybe I can get on stage and do that. You know what I mean? It's the beach body look. It's the look that women look at and say, oh man, that guy looks fucking good. You know what I mean?
Why
It's
don't we
because
get paid?
it's that balance of right before you get into being freakish looking, but still maintaining that kind of that everyday thing that people look online and say, man, I
It's
want to
more
look like
appealing. It's more appealing.
I want to look like that. You know what I mean? And I mean,
And
you know, $1,500. We spend if you're a real athlete, you didn't spend $1,500. I mean, a quarter through prep.
Easy.
That's easy.
That's easy.
okay,
You know
then
what I mean?
Aaron, let me ask you this then. Why don't we get paid? Why are our shows you win $2,000 after it takes $2,000 just to get to the show minus the actual prep? Why do we make $50,000 winning the Olympia when $600,000 for the Open when we are the most again, we attract a lot of audiences and you go to like I said, you go to NPC
Oh
shows.
no, you gotta keep listening to what I've been saying. I've been saying it since the Mr. Olympia, man. The men's physique division has been getting disrespected. It's just plain and simple. They don't consider us bodybuilders. They don't respect us.
It's the
So
same
it's
with
just how do
classic. Look at
it's
classic though too.
how do we but we can't even say classic to that standpoint because you got the best fucking bodybuilder in the
In the
world
world.
just retired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but based on prize money, you look at where prize money is for classic, it's right around where men's physique is. It's a little bit more than men's physique, but does that mean in that aspect because of the prize money, they're not looking at classic as being bodybuilder? Because
Nah.
bodybuilder 800K in the top two.
So let me give you my opinion about classic and the reason why the prize money didn't go up with having a person like C-Bum, who is the most popular bodybuilder in the world. Because C-Bum is already wealthy. He already has so much money. The prize money isn't he's going there to win a title. He's not going there to win money. I feel like that if he had the same notoriety, but money was important, it would have forced them. They would have driven up that
He would
money.
have pushed it. He would have pushed it.
They would have pushed that money up.
So does men's physique,
They would have pushed the money up.
so men's physique doesn't have
Why wasn't Prague more? You
I'm
know what
not
I'm
I'm not
saying?
I'm not I'm not saying that. I'll say this. I
Why
believe
you said why wasn't Prague more?
Yeah.
Trust me, C-Bum got a bag, bro. Trust
Yeah,
me.
but I'm saying overall wise, just to have him there. I get that he as an individual is getting paid a lot, just like he did to be at the Olympia. But I'm saying the prize money specifically for how much it's bringing in revenue, that's just more in their pockets of selling streams and whatever. Like the promoter is making more money and it's not actually going to the athletes.
Because they couldn't make it seem that it was that biased that they're going to say, well, because C bump's coming, we're all of a sudden going to give you more money. It would be it would be disrespect to everybody else, because it would feel like, so because he comes, all of a sudden the prize money is raised for that one
Yeah, but
time
more
event.
people are watching it though, therefore they're
But
making more money off of it
but but
anyways.
but C bum is retiring. Never set a standard that you can't keep, because the next year when you have Prague and C bum isn't there,
Mm.
and you're missing out on those 50,000 extra streams that you got, and you're missing out on
Yeah.
those 3,000 extra tickets that you sold.
Hence, take Legion Sports Festival for
Yeah,
instance.
when you
Hence,
when you're missing out on those when you're missing out on those
That's a good
things,
point, Aaron.
and but you backed yourself into a corner. Oh shit! Now I have to pay these
Keep
people
up with
all
it.
this money,
yep.
Yeah.
but I don't have the athlete power to carry that. You
That
know what I
part.
mean?
So
So you have to be careful about that.
how do we change it, man? Like there's a lot of complaining being done, but what's the next move in order to put more money into
I'm
the
I'm
pockets
gonna
of
be I'm gonna be real. My idea, and most people are gonna disagree with it just because, a lot of people pop that shit, but they ain't really got it like that. Um, but for me, I said shit. As athletes, we should put our money where our mouth is, man. Create something where we have an escrow account, and fuck that. If we want to be paid more, and you feel like you got it like that, everybody get online and pop their shit. How they gonna come and win? Put your fucking money where your mouth is. Fuck that. We have our own prize pool separate from the prize money that's there.
So you're
You
saying
know what I mean?
don't even put it towards
Right.
the IFBB. Don't let them take a percentage now. Talk your shit.
Athletes.
Athletes,
Athletes every year.
us as athletes. Something that's controlled, that can't be manipulated, that can't be anything or whatever. Something where the money
Hey, that's
is
a good
actually
ass
where
motherfucking
the
idea.
where the
Yeah, but
money's
not
where the
everybody
money's
will do
actually
it. That's
safe.
the
Hold on,
thing.
hold on. That's a good ass idea. What I love about that is, and I don't know, this is my business mind taking over. How you would go about it is you probably pick like, say, 10, 12 shows throughout the year. You ask all the IFBBs, put $100 in. It's $100, nothing crazy. And then you divide that up on top of what is already being made at those shows amongst the top five.
I wouldn't make it a full pot situation. It'd definitely be a show by show, because
Show by show.
you have some shows where you have the type of athletes that say, well, man, look, I'm willing to put up $300. It has to be equal. It has to be something that's agreed upon. It can't be uneven. But even if, let's say this, even if it was just saying, hey boys, we're all gonna throw $50 into a pot to just add extra money. Yes, that doesn't equal a lot, but I just feel like
It does.
No more than what they're
it
giving.
just if
A lot
we're
of pros.
if
Or
we're
Hold on.
or
How many
so
active
no
pros do
wait,
you think there are? Go ahead.
or so when that sheet come out of the list of people who doing that show,
Oh,
say for
they ain't
instance
doing
if it's an
that.
app,
They ain't
if
doing
it's an
that.
app, why?
They ain't doing
Why?
that. Because, bro, let's be real. Going into most shows, there might be 8 people who think they can actually have a chance of winning the show, but there's a list of 30 people. Those back halves aren't putting that in. But if you do it as soon as they make their
I
accounts,
get what you're saying.
if they make it active, or as soon as your IFBB Pro card is active for that year, right?
We just put it into a pot.
Just put it into a pot right away. Even if it's looked at of like, listen, I know I'm not winning a show this year, but I want to get my feet wet. You are now investing back into the division, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Nah, I get that for sure. You know, you're right. I definitely can. I feel like it should be certain qualifications for the shows that the money is dispersed into. You
Yeah,
know
From
what
the
I
pro
mean?
league itself.
So that it doesn't get like thinned out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
So
that's definitely a great idea to say, hey, you have this, here's this option of this to be able to whatever. But the only thing about it's going to be a thing for where it's not a requirement, because when things become requirements, then it puts a
100%,
bad taste in people's mouth,
100%.
especially if you're some guy who know for a fact that you ain't even going to get close to touching that money. You know what I mean?
So
But
how many people do you think are active pros? Like just a ballpark, like who activate their pro cards to compete, say, in 2025. How many roughly people do you think there is, right? So on average, you got to say how many pro shows there are, how many people do the
probably at
active
As
least
far as men's physique,
six
probably like
hundred.
600.
600. That's we said the same thing. 600.
Okay, so say 600. Say you want to say $50 per. I think that's more reasonable.
Yeah. Mm, that ain't gonna really be shit though.
Even still, that's thirty thousand
That's
dollars.
still that's still 30 grand. I feel like $100 would be dope. Putting 60 grand, putting
I
the extra
agree.
60 grand
I
into
agree.
there in the equation.
I think yeah. So that's exactly what I was gonna say. You
Well,
do
think about the pro cards, how much money they've gone up anyways, and how much money they're making off of that of every time that they're just rebuying it every year. So that's money in the pro league's pocket. So that's why I feel like the pro league should dish it out more evenly. But I mean, obviously, that's a different conversation. This is us as athletes taking it into our own hands to get our pot higher, which us being a part of this organization and bringing in the fans that we bring in, I think the pro league should require a certain amount to give each person based on, these shows like Olympia being 800,000 for open versus 60,000. If you're going to look at percentages, that's like, 9%,
I
it's
think
literally nothing.
So can I say this? I've always felt that how like in the NBA you have like the players association where you have these elected players who go and speak on behalf of the players of the NBA to top management. I've always felt that in bodybuilding there should be something like that we have a distinguished representative to go and discuss and negotiate these things with upper
They
level
tried it.
management.
They tried it.
I didn't know. I didn't
It
know.
won't happen. I guess Bob Chigarillo was supposed to be the players. I mean, not the players, but the athletes rep. Bro, they don't give a fuck what that dude say. It's what they want to happen and what they want to do. It don't matter what. It don't
I
matter.
didn't see. I didn't know. I didn't know that
It
there
don't
was
matter if
even
we
an
went to
intent.
them with a fucking Elon Musk fucking plan. They don't give a fuck. They getting their money and they keeping their money. Period.
Elon Musk for pro league.
It don't matter, man.
Just tell him to put $1 billion in there.
Yeah.
Shit.
And get it televised.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, if that's of course that would bring more money, but they'll never put it on television again, not in this day and age, because
There used to be.
they don't want. Yeah, it used to be back in the day. It was on ESPN.
ESPN.
Shit, it was on ESPN. Yeah, it was, bro. It
But
was
now
on
they got
ESPN.
fucking ping pong and pickleball.
But the
Yeah.
thing about it is that they don't want to have to answer questions about the elephant in the room because sports is so scrutinized. Sports is so scrutinized for PED use that a sports network is not going to put a whole bunch of people who use PEDs on national TV.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to say, "Hey kids,
Gives the wrong image.
Go do gear."
We ain't even gonna talk about that because it's taking my mind somewhere else because TV put the most craziest shit on TV.
No. But
I already know where you're going. I already know where you're going, Banks.
That's the caveat. That's the caveat,
Boy.
though. That's the caveat. They'll put a lot of that stuff on TV, but they'll say that would be a problem. Oh, trust me, I get it.
Come on. I'm like, let me not even engage right now.
Programming.
Let me not engage. Shit.
Aaron, you've been tamed this episode. You've been tamed. You got
600 racks is crazy work.
Crazy.
That's wow. Man.
When you look at it now, if everything else was around 250 and they didn't give second place the 200 grand, they kind of dispersed
you
that.
know what just would be good? It's just okay. 50 turns into 100, 60 turns to 120, 900 goes to like 110. Bro, we would be satisfied.
I feel like 212 should be 200 to the top. 100. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 150 for classic, 100.
Bro, I believe 212 was 30,000 last year.
Yeah, it jumped up. I don't think it was 30, but it jumped up. It did jump up though.
Bro,
it was maybe 40.
You want to know something crazy? Second place for open still got more than men's physique, classic, and 212 combined.
That's crazy.
Combined?
Yeah.
That's crazy. See, this is what.
So just second place in the world. And I get it. Bodybuilding, it's the standard. It's always going to be the epitome. It's when it started. That was the only division. But the thing that doesn't make sense to me is men's physique, classic physique, and even 12 top, they're bringing in so much more athletes to where that overall sum of the money that they're giving out is majority could be from these other divisions. It's not just the open. There's not too many active open competitors every year. I mean, at an open show, there might be 6 to 8 guys. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to be honest.
Men's physique, there's always 30, 40 guys.
I think that they all should. I definitely think classic should be increased, and I definitely think the men's physique should be increased. And it's no knock to 212, but literally just, before Keon brought it back to life, they were saying that the division should be eliminated just because all the best in 212 are just going up to open and doing well. Hottie, Derek, and then they're saying in a couple of years, Keon's going to do the same thing, right? You have Kamal, right? You had a lot of people who just made that transition and did well in open. So regardless, it's just one of those things that we are growing. So let me make sure that I give Tyler and I give the IFBB some love here, because the regular season shows for classic, for open bodybuilding, and even wellness are being taken care of based off of sponsors who are coming in and putting their money where their mouth is. And even for men's physique, there's no way that anything that I'm building yet has the capability of impacting every single show like some of these big brands. But I think it's companies and people and even us athletes out there, like Ryan said, putting our money where our mouth is, in order to make some kind of change. But I think that there's going to be
It's
something.
still going up. It's still going up each year. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something, but obviously we're going to have our opinions as athletes, thinking that we should, with all the money that we're putting in and making, when you look at these other divisions, we're doing just as much work, and bringing in our own fan base individually. I think it should be a little bit higher, but that's just me. And I mean, anybody else that you talk to that's pretty much doing this 100% is going to agree with us.
I couldn't agree more, man. But outside of that, fellas, we've been on here for about an hour and 40 minutes. And we haven't had
my time for me to go eat, get to the gym. It's been a rough last week.
Yeah, I gotta go get my hair cut, man. So
yo, shout out to your barber, bro. He is the realest in the game.
oh yeah.
He's so real, bro. Turn your thing back on, but real quick before we can say bye to everybody. But one thing I will say is, if Ryan Barber listens to this, he's the GOAT. He cuts everybody out in Vegas, and you got to hit him up, yo. If you want, give me his information. I'll put it in the.
Oh yeah, nah, absolutely. I got you for sure.
Bro, he literally built an office in his house, and you walk through like it's like the coolest.
Yeah, I actually helped him paint that room.
Yeah,
yeah.
Bro, he's the realest one out there. Every time Vegas, I'm literally not getting my haircut on purpose just to go to him. He's like,
oh yeah, bro. He's the truth, man. Hey, when I tell you, thank you guys so much for having me on, man. I've always wanted to get on here. I appreciate you guys giving me my flowers, man. I love what you guys are doing. I look forward to seeing you guys grow and become even more successful. Personal shout out, Alex, man. What you guys are doing with your shorts brand, that's fucking amazing, bro.
Thank you.
It's nice. I always love seeing an athlete take advantage, and not in that way, but like actually rise to the occasion and putting a brand there who actually competes. It's nothing against any other company for anybody else, but I love seeing an actual athlete say, okay, hey, I'm an athlete. I know what's best. Let me put my hat in the ring. It's just such a smart thing, man. I really respect your business acumen.
Thank you
very, very much, man, with the way you do things. I just wanted to really tell you that.
I really appreciate that, bro. And like just like this podcast is doing, and same thing in correlation with the board shorts, man. We are truly just investing back into the division and trying to make it better. And I know a lot of times people think, yeah, money, money. Trust me when I say we do well for ourselves and manifest, but we are early investing in things like, again, these shows where we're literally just trying to give back in different ways. So even Aaron, man, committing to us before anybody else does, like there's little things like that where it's going to allow us to springboard. And Aaron knows, man, he's taking a chance, in order to, ride this out. And I'm confident that we're going to be able to give back to him what he's already given back to us, and just that confidence. So guys, we appreciate you guys. Ryan, as always, brother, you are one of those personalities in this division that deserves to be highlighted more and more. You're now a 2-time champion. You are an amazing father, husband, businessman, right? And we are honored to have you not only a part of Men's Physique Radio, but also this division in itself. Drew, brother, it's always good catching up with you guys. Aaron, congratulations again on the success of your new supplement brand. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you check it out. I'm telling y'all right now, I already got my order, and it's telling you it's going to help you guys, man. It's the little things, man. Invest in your health, invest in your wealth. It'll take you far. As always, guys, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And until the next episode, peace.
All right. Bye.